What happens when a struggling waitress shows kindness to strangers who can't pay their bill? How does one simple act of generosity lead to a life-changing twist? Let's dive in and find out. In the small town of Maplewood, there was a quaint diner named Sonny's Place. It wasn't fancy, but it had charm. The smell of fresh coffee and warm pancakes filled the air every morning, and locals gathered there like it was a second home. Among the staff was Emma, a young waitress in her late 20s. She had soft brown eyes and a smile that could brighten anyone's day, though lately that smile was harder to keep. Emma was no stranger to struggle. After her parents passed away in a car accident years ago, she became the sole provider for her younger brother, Liam, who was just 10. Juggling two jobs and trying to make ends meet, Emma barely had time to rest. Despite her hardships, she was known in town for her kind heart. She never let her troubles stop her from helping others. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, the diner was quieter than usual. Emma wiped down the counters, glancing at the clock. She had to pick up Liam from school later and dreaded the thought of another sleepless night balancing bills. Just as she sighed, the jingling bell above the door snapped her out of her thoughts. A family of 4 walked in, a man, his wife, and 2 small children. They looked exhausted. Their clothes were worn, and the man carried a tattered briefcase. Emma noticed the little boy clutching his sister's hand, their eyes scanning the diner with curiosity. "Welcome to Sonny's Place," Emma greeted, her voice warm. "Grab a seat anywhere you like." The family chose a corner booth. Emma approached with menus and couldn't help but notice how the father's hands trembled slightly as he opened it. She decided not to mention it. As the family ordered simple meals, just sandwiches and water, Emma noticed how they avoided eye contact. They barely spoke, and the mother kept glancing at the children, brushing their hair with her fingers as if to comfort them. When it was time to pay, Emma watched the father pull out his wallet. He fumbled with a credit card, handing it to her hesitantly. Her heart sank when the transaction was declined. She tried again, but the result was the same. The father's face flushed red with embarrassment. I'm so sorry," he stammered. "There must be some mistake. Let me—" "It's okay," Emma interrupted gently, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Don't worry about it. I've got this one." The man's eyes widened. "No, I can't let you do that. We'll figure something out." "Really, it's fine," Emma insisted. "Your family and family deserves a good meal." The man's lips quivered as he nodded, muttering a soft, "Thank you." The mother's eyes glistened with tears as she clutched her children tightly. Later that night, Emma walked home in the rain, her shoes soaked. She felt good about helping the family, but part of her worried about the extra expense. Rent was due soon, and every dollar mattered. Still, she reminded herself that kindness always came back around. The next day at the diner, Emma went about her usual routine, but something unexpected happened. A sleek black car pulled into the parking lot. Out stepped a man in his early 50s wearing a tailored suit. He walked into the diner, his presence commanding attention. "Is there an Emma here?" he asked in a deep, firm voice. Emma froze, unsure who he was. Slowly, she raised her hand. "That's me." The man approached her and extended his hand. "My name is Charles Harper. I believe you met my son and his family yesterday." Emma's heart raced. She nodded, unsure of where this was going. "I'm the CEO of Harper Enterprises," he explained. "My son David has been going through a rough time. He lost his job, and their home was foreclosed. They've been trying to get back on their feet." Emma felt a lump in her throat. She remembered the family's tired faces and how desperate they had seemed. "David told me what you did for them," Charles continued. "He said you paid for their meal when their card was declined. That kind of kindness is rare these days. I wanted to meet you personally to thank you." "It was nothing," Emma replied, her voice trembling. "They looked like they needed help. I just did what felt right." Charles smiled. "Well, your small act of kindness meant the world to them, and to me." Over the next hour, Charles asked Emma about her life, her struggles, and her dreams. At first, she hesitated, but something about his demeanor made her open up. She told him about Liam, about working two jobs, and about the burden of trying to keep everything together. Charles listened intently, then leaned forward. Emma, I believe in paying kindness forward. I'd like to offer you something. Emma's eyes widened. What do you mean? I own a network of restaurants, Charles explained. I want to give you a management position at one of our locations. It comes with a generous salary and benefits, including health insurance for you and your brother. Emma's jaw dropped. I don't know what to say. Say yes, Charles replied with a grin. You deserve it. Emma accepted the offer, and her life began to change in ways she never imagined. She moved into a better apartment with Liam, who finally got the stability he needed. Months later, Emma learned that David had also gotten back on his feet, thanks to a job his father arranged for him. But the most touching twist came one evening when David's family visited Emma at her new restaurant. They brought her a handmade card, signed by the kids, thanking her for saving their family when they needed it most. Sometimes it's the smallest acts of kindness that create the biggest ripples. For Emma, her generosity didn't just change one family's life, it transformed her own. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.